Hello, this is Sally. I wanted to take you through a mid-July garden tour. I'll show you our hydrangea here. It's starting to get all of the blossoms on it. It's really pretty. It's nice when it comes out completely. That's what it looks like right now. This is our little garden in the back. There's some wisteria back there, some Solomon seal, a lot of ground cover. I've got a moon plant in there, a bunch of ferns. It gets a lot of shade, so the ferns do really good. And we're coming back to the pond. Not quite as much blooming this time. There's a lot of lilies still. There's yellow ones, red ones. Look at this, my lily tree. Isn't that pretty? There's still some blossoms on the top to come out, but I like how they bend backwards. They're really pretty. Let's see if there's any fish out today. I did see a fish the other day flying around. Nothing out today. They're never around when I'm filming. Okay, a few more lilies. This is all overgrown here. I've got to really trim this back. It's my cat. You can't even see him anymore. Everything's getting so... This stuff. I've got to pull this stuff out. It's like it takes over here. This, I'm not quite sure what it is. It's something growing up, but I thought it was pretty. I thought the leaves on it was pretty. It looks like it might get some kind of a flower on the top. I'm not sure what it is. I'll let it go and see what happens. Here's some lilies. Pretty orange ones. There's some cone flowers. There's some more lilies back in there. They're really pretty. There's one red one left. These plants are taller than the lighthouse. Here's some pretty ones, like a salmon color. They're really nice. Those are really pretty lilies. The lilies last for quite a while. And the hosta garden, you've seen that before. That always gets so huge. Their bird feeder. We'll head out to the back. I think I saw birds going in this little round feed, or little round birdhouse. I saw somebody going in there the other day. I don't know if there's anything in there still or not. Okay, we'll head back to the garden back here, the berry patch. This is, you can see through there and see there's a blackberry. There's a bunch of them that are red still. There's a bunch back in there. We had to put netting over it because there's still some flowers, because the birds were eating everything. Here's some that are coming up here. I don't know if you can see underneath there. We leave a little opening so that the bees can get in, because they like to get in there and pollinate everything. But that's the blackberries. And there's the raspberries. They aren't quite coming out yet. I'm going to move this rock here. The door wasn't closing real good, so we put a rock in front of it. Okay, this is the strawberries, but they're pretty much done. We only got the strawberries in June. We've got to take the netting off of them. They're growing right through the netting. They're crazy. Look at this catnip over here. It's huge. There's usually bees all over it. There's some bees in there right now. See the bees? We've got lots of them. Okay. let's go back and look at the cucumbers. Remember how this garden looked before? And now it's huge. It's like a jungle back here. I've been picking cucumbers. There's some under here. There's one right there. I think there's a... You hear that bird back there? It's a bobwhite. Sounds like he's saying Bob. Wait! There's lots of cucumbers in here. This is crazy. You have to dig back in there. There's a couple. These are my pickling cucumbers. I've already done one batch of pickles, but I'll be doing more. These are the eating cucumbers here. They're the English cucumbers. They don't have many seeds in them, so they're really good for in salads and things. Well, he sounds kind of neat. I like listening to him. And here's our big tomatoes. Look at this. They're all the way up to the top. They've got to be like 8 feet. They're huge. And we've got some coming here. There's a few here. Let's see what's in here. There's a couple in there. They're all over the place. They're all still green. Things are coming late this year because spring was so cold. We had a really cool spring. That one's got a little bit of stuff on it, but I've got big rainbow tomatoes and mortgage lifters. I forget what the other ones are called. These ones are smaller. There's a lot. We'll be eating our BLTs soon. As soon as they start producing more. I can't believe how tall they got. All the way up to there. And this is our squash. I've picked quite a few squash already. They're kind of slowing down now. As soon as they stop producing, I've got some more started that I'm going to put in here. But, I mean, there's a zucchini right there. There's still a few coming. I had the yellow ones are on the other side. These are zucchinis. I got a nasturtium hanging up there to help with the pollination. And that's that garden. I don't know where Mr. Bob White went. Look at this little baby cucumber. Isn't he cute? He's so tiny. Such a tiny little thing. They're climbing up there. They're climbing up there real good. They're all the way up to they're not quite as tall as the tomato trellises, but they've climbed all the way up to the top. Maybe we'll have to extend them next year. Let me get this gate closed up so we don't get any critters in here. Our fence in the other one kind of rotted out at the bottom, and my husband had to go fix it because we had a groundhog in there the one day, and he went right under the fence. This is the apple trees don't look the best right now. I think maybe next year we'll have some apples on them. I think they'll come back better next year. This one's a Honeycrisp. This one's a Honeycrisp. We're not sure if this one's going to make it or not. It had some leaves on it, but they kind of all fell off, and it was damaged during shipping, so it didn't come in very good. This one here is the Fiji. It's got a lot of growth up on the top. It's kind of Kind of gnarly looking. And this is the berries. That's the pink lemonade blueberry. We had to put a thing around it because something pulled all the leaves off of it. This is a regular blueberry. And the currants are back there. I don't think they're going to do anything this year. Look at the elderberries. The elderberries are huge. They go all the way up there. And these were the flower heads. And now this is what they look like. The flowers. You can see the white flowers on there. And then they turn into little berries. And then they'll all get like a dark color. And we have to, I guess you just clip the whole flower head off and just pull all the berries off of it. But as soon as they start turning the darker color, I think we're going to have to cover them. Which I don't know how I'm going to get up there to cover them. They're huge. They've got to be 12 feet tall. They're humongous. I've got to read up on them and see if you have to cut them down or prune them or anything for the winter. I've never grown them before, so we'll find out. And here's the other garden. We are having trouble with moles, either moles or voles or shrews or something. They're digging tunnels all over the place. We've been putting stuff down. There's a long tunnel right there. They make a mess. I'll go in here. Here's the Bob White again. I hear him. Here's the lettuce. We've been having salad every night. They just keep clipping it and it keeps coming back, and I clip more and it comes back again. And here's my peppers. The radishes are all done. We got quite a few radishes. Some of these tomato plants are just, or pepper plants. They're loaded with peppers. They've got, this one over here I think has like 8 peppers. It has like 8 peppers on it. And you see all of them hanging in there? I've got some of these long, they're sweet ones, they're not hot. I don't grow spicy ones because I can't deal with the spice. But there's some really nice looking ones in here. And these are my sauce tomatoes, the plum tomatoes. There's one that's starting to turn red, kind of an orangey color. There's a bunch of them in here. These we just have cages around. Look at all of them. I'll be making some tomato sauce this year. That one down there is huge. He's a big guy. A couple of them have the blossom end rot. But look at these. They're really big. These ones got some kind of a growth on them. I left them there because I figure I can cut around that when I make my sauce. I'll just deal with it. And here's our cherry tomatoes, our little ones. These are the Sun Golds. There's some orange ones in there. There's an orange one right here. They're starting to churn. Last year at this time, we had bunches of them. And this year, it's because the spring was so cool. These are called the two-tone cherry tomatoes. They're going to be pretty. There's one here that's starting to change color. This one. See that guy? He's starting to change. I'm anxious to try one of them and see how they are. We really like the the sun gold ones. They're really sweet. They're like a orangey yellow color. There's so many. You should have lots of them. These are right up to the, almost right up to the top too. They're doing pretty good. Here's our beans. They're not doing so well. There's a couple beans on there, but I don't know what happened with them. I might cut them down and let them start over. Pick off the ones that we might have like 5 beans, I think. There's a couple here. They're not real big. Maybe it's because they're in containers. I don't know. I'll pick the ones I've got and just cut them down and see if they'll grow back up again. Okay, here's our herb garden. I already picked the cilantro because that was getting all crazy. There's some basil there. Some parsley. And my thyme. Oregano. The oregano is doing great this year. I've already used some of it with my sauce. It smells so good. It smells like pizza. This is all of the honeysuckle growing up here. There's a couple little flowers left. A couple of them. The hummingbirds love this stuff. Most of it's died off by now. And the tiger lilies are pretty much done. A lot of the stuff is done for the season. The hydrangea still looks great. It's turning all white now. I love that. I don't know if there's anything left out here in this garden or not. Now the moonflowers are there. I didn't look at the moonflower, but this one isn't blooming yet. The one out back had a couple of blooms on it. These are my snapdragons. They're kind of done flowering right now until they get more buds and stuff on them. They'll come back out again. And this stuff, I think it's just corn that's seeded in there. I'm going to have to pull that out. I think the birds probably dropped it. That's the lantana hanging basket. This is my nasturtiums. I love nasturtiums. This is something ate this all up. Yeah, something got in there and ate that. That was supposed to be pansies, but they're a mess. They never really did anything. I'm gonna have to spray them because something's eating at them. This is the, I can never think of the name of this. When I'm looking at it, I think about it afterwards. Oh well. Yeah, this is the other pansy. Something's eating them right up. Rosemary's doing great. This was my dill. I pulled that all off because it was wilting. This is the geranium citronella. My hanging baskets look great. This one here got a little beat up in the rain the other day. There was a lot of heavy rain. These are more lantana here. There's a couple of zinnias here. I put some seeds in. I didn't think they were going to do anything, but they're actually coming up. Oh. My little kitty thing fell over. The yellow ones are pretty. I'll take you over to look at the bee balm. See if there's any bees. Oh, I already see bees. The bees are just all over this stuff. I think I'm gonna transplant some of it to out back by the garden. He's a busy little guy. There's another one over there. The other day I came out, there was like 20 bees on this. Looks like it's starting to fall apart now. There's one down there. Nice little bees. This garden out here is a mess. We had to trim some major leaves out of the catalpa tree because it was hanging right down to the ground. We had to trim a whole branch off. There's a little couple blooms on this hydrangea. But there's just nothing but weeds out here. This garden's a mess. It's been so hot. I just don't even want to come out in the gardens at all. So there's a couple lilies still coming out here. When it gets so hot, the things just start wilting. There's a lily left there. Here's my shrimp plant. Wasn't sure if my shrimp plant was going to bloom this year, but it did. Pretty. I like that. This lily right here is really pretty. Bright orange. Okay. That's about all I have to show you. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.